Welcome to the White & Company video series on Return to Office, where we offer some diverse perspectives on office re-entry and changing workplace strategies. Today's interview is with Tim Westerbeck, president of Eduvantis, a leading strategic consulting firm focused on the higher education sector globally.
So we made a decision to not return to the office, even though it was suggested that we might be able to. A lot of people are vaccinated, have that option to do that. But we're working so smoothly and effectively remotely as a team that we like it. And we're going to continue. We've decided to let our lease expire when it expires a little later this year and give it a try. We seem to be more focused, more energetic. We communicate well together. And frankly, as a business owner, getting rid of the significant overhead of a downtown Chicago Loop office that can be applied toward all kind of other things. You never know what people are actually thinking, but I've certainly gone out of my way during this last year to make a lot of inquiries into people's sort of points of view and position on this, trying to understand how comfortable they are, if they're having challenges, if they really like working remotely. And I would say to a person, the answer has been yes. They like the flexibility. They like not having to commute. They like being able to really stay focused and not be distracted by the day's activities that you find in an office in many cases. They seem to like it quite well. And we haven't had turnover. I think that's another issue, another way I would measure it. I think as a whole, people seem quite satisfied. I would almost say people seem more bonded to each other during this period of working remotely together has led to some new channels of communication that I hadn't seen before between people. One thing that's happened to us is we're able to recruit nationally now. We never were before, or at least not quite as easily. There were barriers to getting someone to have to move to Chicago and uproot their family or something of that nature to come here. Now, the last 3 hires that we've made have been in other parts of the country, California, Washington, D.C., Wisconsin, other places. It's opened up the labor market to us, the skill-based labor market, in ways that we never had access to before, which is a huge matter for us from a business standpoint, especially where you're in an intellectual property-based business, where intellectual capital is what you're selling. You can access brain power from anywhere now, and that's a real plus. We'd gone out of our way to make sure that we really thought through, well, what's it take to bring someone? What would we want if we were coming onto a company and we weren't there physically? We'd want to have the contact with as many people as possible, just like in any event. But in this case, we've really, I think, worked hard to create new approaches and systems to give them that contact that people want and need. One of the ways we'll deal with some of these issues we're talking about is having quarterly or bi-monthly meetings where we bring everyone together in a nice location, whether it's a hotel or a leased office space of some sort, where we really spend some time brainstorming, strategizing, collaborating on the things we're working on, and have some social time built in there as well. We're just trying to do more of those kind of things that are a little extracurricular that give people a chance to stay connected as much as possible. We've had a few online events where we have a chef come in and everybody cooks together, and some of those kind of things. And I'm not going to suggest those are a perfect replacement for in-person time together, but I think they reach a critical mass of experience that people have that can be very helpful. How do people collaborate and exercise the creative process when they are remotely? And I will say, in all fairness, that's the hardest thing. Where you are trying to bring some form out of nothing. I'd say we're better at it today than when we first started. I still do not believe that's 100% replacement for working together in a room, brainstorming and things of that nature. I think the technology has made it, quite possible to do that and to do it effectively. We work with partners internationally all the time, and they've pretty much been working remotely too. And I think we're all happy that we don't have to catch a flight to Hong Kong or Singapore or London every time you need to work on something. Now you have time zone differences and things like that, which are a little bit challenging, and that's always been present. But I don't think there's a radical difference between what happens here or happens in China or in India or in Europe or South America. I think that people like efficiency. They like to be able to do things as easily as possible and effectively as possible. And they like to do things as inexpensively as possible if they're in a business. Again, I, as you know, happen to be someone who believes that that can be modified. And again, with the full caveat that I could be dead wrong. We'll see. I think everybody reserves the right at this time to be dead wrong because it's something new. This is a new horizon, we're all experiencing, and I think we'll see how it goes.